So I won't show exactly how to use every one of these unless you really want me to. Message me on here and I can work on a video for you to show you what we do. I will show you a few of them. What you're going to want to do is make sure you get yourself paper towels, good clean rag. This dropper here is what we use for our ivermectin. Disposable. You can get this on our Amazon page as well. We use this over a syringe just because when you put ivermectin into a rubber syringe, that rubber syringe gets a little hard to push sometimes, so you can accidentally overdose your birds, and with ivermectin you do not want to overdose. It can be a little deadly to them. One of the other things we have, petroleum jelly and the Scaly mite and lice spray. One other thing that I'm going to try is castor oil. This is something that I've never seen anybody else use. This is just an idea I have as far as my own. So I don't know if it works or not, but I'm going to find out. Some of the other things that we don't use anymore, or we suggest not to use anymore, are things like diesel fuel, gasoline, and used motor oil. Whether they work or not, we try not to do anything like that because over the years we have all learned that the dangers of putting in certain chemicals to our animals that we may be using as food. Just want to be careful. I'm not telling you to use them. I won't suggest that they do work, but I know we've used those things in the past. So, look up everything, use your own judgment. So another one I hear that is really good is the Primo mite spray. It's on our Amazon list. I don't know. I cannot tell you how well it works, how well it doesn't work. I don't use it. Sure, people on here have used it. They can comment what they feel about it. Or if anybody has anything else that they use, please go ahead and comment. Let us know what you do. We're always open to suggestions, new ideas, and things that we can do. Now, my number one go-to method is always going to be the ivermectin. Like I said, this is the same thing as this, which is the same thing as this in the dropper. With using ivermectin, you're going to use according to the size of the bird. Now, she's going to fight me here, but we're going to hold her in a way that's not going to hurt her, but a way that you can control her to do this properly. You're going to grab her behind her wings, and this is going to be no more than like picking up a child by under their armpits. No, they don't like it, but she is not a bird that likes to be held. So, with scaly leg mites and her, she's going to get 5 drops because of how big she is. I will do a drop under each arm, under each wing. I will also give her a drop back here on the back of her neck. And then, because of the scaly leg mites, this is where now I will put a drop on her skin where you can open it up enough to get skin contact and not feather contact. You can put it directly on the legs, but because ivermectin works as medication that goes through the bloodstream, these are like, this is protective and most likely isn't going to let it sink into the skin. So find some skin contact and give that to her. And then that's it. 14 days later, you're going to get her again. Exact same thing. Depending on the size of your bird, bantams, serramas, things that are like 1 pound, 1 drop. 5 pounds and up, 5 drops plus. Some of our birds are big. We have some that are like 14, 15 pounds. We end up giving them up to 7 to 8 drops of liquid. So, and that's why I said about not using the syringe, because when you do use the syringe, it's really tough to plunge that plunger. Now she's done, she gets to run free again. So the only downfall to this is we won't use it if it's cold outside or if we have to treat a lot of birds. The ivermectin, it's quick couple drops, off they go. Here we have little Richard, and he also has a little bit of scaly leg mite. Well, on him I think we're going to try the castor oil. We'll see if that does any benefit to him at all. He doesn't have it real bad, but he's got a couple spots that I'd like to see if it, because it's supposed to be like one of the best penetrating oils. So, just curiosity's sake. I know, babe. I know. I'm sorry. It's okay. So, like I said, I've never tried this before. I don't know if it'll work, what it'll do. I'm sure it's not going to hurt him. But we're just going to try putting a little bit of oil on his legs. His feet here. And we're going to try and just rub it in there a little bit. Hold on. Relax. Just try and rub it in there. See what goes in there. And just little test spots. We'll get a little bit more. So you're going to want to do this for treating scaly leg mites. If you don't know anything about them, definitely check into it. Check your birds. Scaly leg mites can cause your birds to lose toes. I've seen worse cases where they've lost feet. Don't let it get bad. This is a little more than I'd actually liked it to get past. But try your best to do what you can. Not every treatment is what you're going to want to do. Some people like doing different things. As I said, I like to use the ivermectin. That is and always will be my go-to for this, unless it stops working. But until then, that's what it is. We're going to try to see how well this castor oil works. But there we go. That's what we're going to do for him. The other thing I like about the ivermectin is you're not just treating leg mites, you're treating lice and every other kind of parasite on their skin. So again, that's my go-to. Another one of my go-tos, if I only have one or two I have to do, is going to be this spray here. So I got a big guy here. Let's see if I can turn the camera around here. Show you how we're going to handle another bird. It's a little bit bigger. And he has a little bit of scaly leg mite. Even this little bit of opening here. I don't know if you can see there or not. A little bit of opening in the scales. That shows some leg mite. Let's get this up a little bit. Now, don't grab your birds by the legs and hang them upside down and spray them that way. Again, you can get them under the wings, right here. Finger in between each wing. This does not hurt them. If it did, you'd be screaming right now. Get your spray under the arms, spray all down the legs. It does not like being wet. Spray them all over. That's going to help with your leg mites in another 14 days. And this is also going to help with the lice and mites as well. So it's a little more expensive to do, but it helps him if he's the only one. And we get to let him go. Now, as far as a little information, like I said, with the used engine oil and diesel fuel or gasoline. Of course, I'm sorry, we got somebody over here that wants to try and be part of it. Alright, enough of her. The gasoline, what you're going to do, and this is for information only, I'm not telling you to do this, but basically it's going to be the same way as with the diesel and the used engine oil. You get a container, you fill it up, that it'll be deep enough for the legs to go all the way submerged into it. Just the legs, no more than that. The gasoline, and you can research this one, it's online if you research it heavily. The gasoline, engine oil, and all that, you're going to dip the legs into it for a few seconds, 3 to 5, somewhere around there, and you're going to just take them out, set them down, let them go. Research and experience, it does more or less take it away immediately. It's usually one treatment and done. So if you're using the birds for any kind of meat purpose, please, please, please do not do that. We've learned that these things absorb into the skin. You can have other problems with it down the road. Just like all the warnings on gasoline now, like we've learned not to clean our hands with it like we used to do back in the day when we had oil or dirt or paint or things like that. We used that type of thing for cleaners. Don't do that. We don't do it anymore on ourselves. Don't do it anymore on your animals.